Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Today's video is something a little bit different. I'm not coming to you with a fancy fold or special technique video. I am posting what I call a challenge card. On my Facebook page, you can find me at The Faithful Stamper. I like to do challenges from time to time, and I roll these wooden dice, and then I make a card and challenge my viewers or my followers to make a card and post it, and I give away a little prize. And so the card that we were supposed to do was a sympathy card that was clean and simple, with texture, embossing, and in the Subtles color family. And what the Subtles color family is what I call our pastels, or that's an easy way to think of it if you're not familiar with the way Stampin' Up terms them. So they're the Subtles, they're kind of the pastel-y, gentler colors. So very pretty. And I made a card with all of these elements and I wanted to share with you. It's a very simple idea that you can use on any kind of card that you might want. And I'm also showing you a sneak peek of some products coming in January 2024. So as a demonstrator, I get the chance to pre-order and play with them early. And so I decided to do that when I realized all those elements came together with the Subtle color family and Sympathy. I decided that this paper would be perfect to do that with. So this is our Painted Lavender designer series paper and some coordinating products that we're using. So Lost Lagoon here is one of our Subtles, along with Highland Heather, that's a coordinating color. And then you're going to see some other colors as well, but very simple layout, just designer series paper, a punched image, and a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and then I'm going to show you a handful of samples I made along the same lines with all the same elements, but each card is very different, and I hope you'll enjoy them. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I know that sounds funny when I made Sympathy cards, but they're just so beautiful. I really don't want to mail any of them out. I just want to sit and look at them because they're so pretty. I hate having to send sympathy cards because you know someone is sad and it breaks your heart to have to send it, but you can give a little hug in paper form to someone and let them know you're thinking about them. So you might as well send them a pretty card, right? Okay, so here we go. And here's my little coordinating envelope, the beautiful image there. To get started, I have a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, just scored down the middle at 4 1/4. You can use any card style, like card-based style that you want for this. And then first I'm going to add a piece of designer series paper. This is 5 1/4 by 4. This is, I believe this is Gorgeous Grape. It might be Highland Heather, but I almost hated to put glue on this part because look how pretty that is, right? You could even use that. So definitely a beautiful pack of paper. Stamping Up lately, each catalog, the paper gets better and better. And it's hard to want to chop it up and make projects with it, but I'm trying very hard. I almost got completely through a pack of Halloween paper this year. I have just a piece or two left. Okay, next up we're going to add our 2 strips of paper to the front. So I went ahead and pre-cut and embossed a strip of Lost Lagoon. This is 1 inch tall by 5 1/4, so the same width as my designer series paper panel. And I embossed it with the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. This is part of a bundle for Celebration. It's the embossing folder and a beautiful stamp set, and it's a free with purchase of $100. Celebration, in case you're not familiar with it, is in January and February, and Stampin' Up rewards you for ordering products that make you happy. And so for every $50 or $100 you spend, there's a special little brochure, and you get to pick out whichever items you like in those qualifying families, either the $50 or the $100. There's no limit. It's dangerous, I have to say, and the booklet this year is really fantastic. We have lots of combinations, lots of stamp sets, paper, different things that you can choose from, so I'm very excited about it. if you have any questions, make sure you get in touch with me. I'd be happy to answer them for you. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a strip of crumb cake. I decided to pull this in because you've got the crumb cake backing on the designer series paper. So I'm going to stamp directly on this. So I need to bring over my Stampin' Pierce mat. This is it's just a thick piece of foam. You can always use a catalog or something. My stamp is photopolymer, so I need a little cushion. The stamp I'm going to show you in a minute for the inside already has that cushion built in because it's red rubber cling. And so I don't really need this for that. But this one does not have any cushion built in, so that's why I need this to make sure I get a really nice impression with my stamp. All right, so let me try to get this straight here. And I'm using, I think I'm going to go with Pretty Peacock for this, so it shows up nicely. See if I can get it kind of straight. It's a little difficult. Oh, not bad. Sometimes on camera, I have to worry about not hitting my head on my phone, so it's a little tricky. You'll have much better luck at home. All right, there we go. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the pieces for the inside. So the inside of my card is basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. So here's that red rubber cling stamp I was talking about. Can you see the foam right there that built in, gives it that little cushion? So I really don't need the mat, but since it's here, I'm going to roll with it. And there's my matching sentiment on the inside, here for you always. And then I want to add a little accent. I don't like things to be too plain, so I have this stamp here. Oh, 1 second. Oh, I lied. I put it away. And I put it far away across the room. So, all right, we're going to pivot a little bit. I have another stamp that's handy here, and it's going to go perfectly too. So you're going to get to see a bonus stamp. I'm going to stamp off the page a little bit, and I'll do my envelope too here since I matched. So Lost Lagoon and Highland Heather are the colors that I'm using, and I'm going to go back to a photopolymer set. These are stems. Let's see. This is from the Softly Sophisticated stamp set that coordinates with that embossing folder. So those are the 2 pieces in the bundle. So you get to see both of them here. So there's my stems. Now the great thing about photopolymer is you can line up your buds to go on the stems because you can see what you're doing through the clear block and the clear stamp. So I'm going to ink it up with purple, and then I'm going to line up the buds with the little cradles here for the flowers, and then this one here in the middle. And if I do that, hopefully things will be nicely lined up. 2-step stamping can be a little bit of a learning curve, but once you figure out the stamp, you can usually get rolling pretty well with it. Like that. Sometimes I'm a little off, that's okay. Not too bad there. All right, and like I said, I've got my envelope here, so I'm going to do the same thing. I like to kind of coordinate. All right. And then one more time, stamp in the buds or the flowers. Okay. I love being able to do this. Before we had photopolymer, the only way you could do this is if you colored with markers on the red rubber cling. And that's a fun technique, but sometimes it would get tiring. So this is fun, being able to stamp like this. Okay, I think my stamping can be put away. All right, so there's my envelope. Here's the inside. I'm going to go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal. You do not need fancy glue. Whatever your favorite adhesive is perfect to use for this project. All right. There we go. All right. Back to that crumb cake strip that started it all here with our stamping. All right. And this, I don't think I mentioned, is 5 1/4 by 4, and I think it's 3/4. I'm not thinking not 3/4 of an inch. somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4. I think I gave it a little extra, but I'm thinking my measurement might be a little off there, but you get the idea. Okay, so now I did pre-punch my piece of designer series paper, but I want to show you how I can stretch this shape. So this is our heartfelt hexagon. It's an online exclusive, so you can check that out at my website. Here is our heartfelt hexagon punch. So to stretch it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch one in Lost Lagoon. And then I'm going to cut that shape in half. I could use scissors, or I tend to be a little crooked sometimes. So I'm going to just put this one, since it's got a nice flat edge, I can line it up in my paper trimmer and cut it into 2 that way with relative ease. But scissors are fine as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add the cut pieces to the top and bottom of my shape, like so. And that way I've kind of stretched it. Some shapes you can even do top, bottom, and side to side and give it a frame around the whole thing. This doesn't quite work out, but it's pretty close. Maybe if you finagle it, you can get it to work. Oh, nice and sticky adhesive here. There we go. I went a little over the edge, so I'm just going to tuck that back. All right, so I don't want any sticky showing on the front. And I try to get the same width of border on the top and the bottom. We'll see here. And I'm just lining up the sides so they're straight. Like that. And that just changes the look of it a little bit. Okay, so now, pardon, I'm going to add some dimensionals. And one thing I like to do when I cut a shape like this, I'm going to put one kind of covering the seam here. And that way, if it's thinking about pulling apart, the dimensionals kind of serving as another layer of glue to keep that together, if you get what I mean. All right, so dimensionals on the back. And these just get peeled off. Ooh, don't want it to stick to my table. All right, so here, just gonna place that hexagon like that. Inside of the card is already done, envelope's done, so all I need to do is add a little bling. And so I'm using some of our purple fine shimmer gems. We've got some really great embellishments coming in the new spring catalog. You're gonna see another example of that in just a minute on my samples. But I'm just gonna take a couple of these. I think it's Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and Blackberry Bliss. And I know it doesn't exactly go, but I like the Blackberry Bliss on this dark purple paper. I think it just kind of helps it pop a little bit. So just gonna put a couple here on the card. I swear, placing embellishments sometimes takes me the longest because I always fuss about where I should put them. I'm not really a perfectionist, but I think I do have a small degree of that somewhere. All right, so there we go. Quick, simple, and it had all my elements. It was a sympathy card that had a clean and simple design. And you can substitute any shape here. It could be a circle, a square, whatever you like. Just have fun. Use this as a springboard for your creativity. Okay, we also had texture in the embossing, which was another element, and it was in the subtles family. So I'm going to show you some more samples. Like I said, I had a lot of fun making these, and I hope you enjoy them. Oh, just threw my take your pick tool on the floor. I will find that later. All right, so here's another one. Same pack of paper. This is more of the blues than the purples, but I really like it. I love this design, even though it's not a lot of florals, it's more leafy. Here's those other embellishments I was talking about. Look at these cork rounds. Aren't they cute? I really wasn't sure about them when I saw them in the catalog, but I decided to take a chance on them. And they're definitely going to coordinate with one of the more manly sets that we have, which is called Trusty Tools. So if you've got any handymen in your life, we've got a great stamp set for you to use to make cards for them. But these cork rounds I thought really worked with these cards as well. And here I took my embossing folder, I glued my thinner strip on the wider strip, and then I ran them through the embossing folder glued together, and that gave me this look here. And I really like that, and I stamped directly on the paper. And then, of course, the inside coordinates, and I have a stamp for on my envelope as well. And this one obviously turned the orientation the other way. So you can experiment with your cards. So here is another one. Really let the DSP do the talking. I'll show you these side by side. This is the same layout. I just changed position a little bit. Added some of these paper butterflies, which are a new product as well. These could have color added to them. I opted to leave them white, but beautiful, beautiful paper. Really easy to do. A little bit of texture here on those circles. So see what I mean about these beautiful papers? Just super easy to do cards. All right, so we're stepping away from the lavender for a minute, and I wanted to show you this beautiful new embossing folder that we have. So this one does not use any designer series paper. It uses 2 embossing folders. This one here, the crosshatch, is one of our basics. It's actually in a 3-pack that's available. It's an online exclusive. And then this new one is called the Layered Florals 3D. Look how gorgeous this is. Can you see? This alone, like a panel of that on a card with a simple label, would be such an elegant card. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff because this really just does the talking for you. On this one, I added texture in the form of a ribbon. I kind of interpreted texture with this to mean the texture from the embossing, but it could be different textures on the card too, like the ribbon. So I just did a little ribbon and bow, and then added my stamping on the inside. And to coordinate, I embossed the envelope flap with the same embossing folder. Quick, simple, very kind of understated, but very elegant. All right, so we're stepping away from the florals and going to see the birds. So I have 2 cards. This DSP that you're going to see and the rest of the samples is from our Celebration catalog. So this is free with a $50 purchase. I love it. I'm a big bird fan, so I am going to have a lot of fun with this paper. I fussy cut our little birds here. This one I drew some feet in, and I used the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. This one I use the emboss side so I can feel the texture with my finger, and then on this one I opted for the deboss side. So this is smooth, the textured side is underneath. A lot of our embossing folders you can use whichever way. Sometimes it's hard to pick which way you want, but quick, simple layout. Embossed panel, strip of designer series paper stamped on, 1 accent and some embellishments, and there were my cards ready to go. And then with a simple message on the inside and a coordinating stamp. All right, these next couple, I love these too. So this one, kind of more of the blues. The Lost Lagoon is our subtle. It coordinates beautifully with Pretty Peacock. They're 2 of my favorite colors. Again, just a quick stamp, stretching that shape, and a little banner on top of my embossed cardstock. And there is my quick and easy card. And then you can flip the layout. And so these 2 were similar. I had decided to flip it because this bird was facing that way. I didn't want him looking, well, this guy's looking off to the side, but obviously you can just see how you can flip the layout around a little bit. And then last but not least, I did step away from the subtle color family a little more into the neutrals, but this paper I thought skewed more in that direction. So here we go. This is Pecan Pie. There's that lovely floral again with a little bit of boho blue. I just thought it went together with the bird. Some brushed embellishments there. And then last but not least, here's those cork rounds again on this pretty little card. I thought this bird was perfect for that hexagon shape. some little accents there, and then the Basics 3D embossing folder. So like I said, nothing fancy, just kind of a quick sketch challenge card that you can use to hopefully come up with some ideas for cards of your own. So thank you so much for checking out the video. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe here on the page. You can click the notification bell and receive a little ding on your technology when I post a new video here on the page. You can also hop over to the Faithful Stamper. I will share a lot more information about new products there, and I do different challenges and contests there from time to time in case you're interested. All right, thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.